Okay, so many of you guys know my Uncle Mark. He was here a couple of years ago. He just recently moved to Florida, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, so more than that. I just want to give you a quick overview. He was a very energetic person, and he was like the go-to person. So when we heard the situation, it was so shocking to our family. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to start with a quick PowerPoint, but there's just so many miracles that came with all of your prayer. We want to share it with you because it's the power of prayer. And it's like direct answers from God. So this is what it is. Okay, so December 8th of last year, he was going to work, and he was speeding, and he hit water, and the car flipped over, and this is the first miracle, because there's miracles throughout the entire thing, was that he hit the car, or he hit the palm tree in the back of the car so perfectly that he's still alive, because I'll tell you how. He flipped over, spun out, and right a couple feet away, there was a river. He didn't go into the river and drown. He did not hit the palm tree from the front, or else it would look like that. There was one section of the car that was untouched, and that was where he was.
Amen.
And he knew his back broke, he felt it, but he stayed awake through the whole thing, through being admitted to the hospital, everything. And when he was hanging upside down, waiting for the EMT, God spoke to him and was like, "Are you ready to get back on track with me?" And he said yes. So can you do the next picture? Okay, so, and the last thing was, he was able to call my grandmother from the hospital and say that he was okay, and she got to hear it from his mouth that he was okay.
Praise God.
And she didn't have to hear it from another third party. And just so happened, that was the night of Angel Tree. And there was everyone here, most of you were here, to be able to pray and support our family, so I thank you for that. Next one. This was 1 week after surgery, and this is a huge miracle, I think. He was supposed to be in the ICU for 1 week after he had an 8-hour surgery on his back. The surgeon said that he was going to be paralyzed forever, from right here down, waist down. He would never walk again, it would take a miracle. And he would be in the ICU for 1 week. He'd be in the regular hospital room for 2 weeks, and right after Christmas, he would go to therapy for 3 months. But this 1 week in therapy after the surgery, he was in the ICU for 2 days, not 1 week, 2 days, and then he was out by Sunday of the following week. And this is my grandma and mother, of course, went up there. This is him in the therapy, 4 days in the therapy room. It's basically set up as a house so you know how to get used to being in a wheelchair. He was doing his own dishes. He was doing his own laundry. He was moving his own body weight. And he's not a small guy. He's moving his own body weight to and from the bed by himself. So that's there. And another thing I kind of skipped over. 2 days after the surgery, my cousin had told her friend about the situation. Her friend went and told her pastor. Within 2 hours, 3,500 people globally was aware of the situation and praying. And 1 hour from there, this is the second day, he felt pressure on his feet from the boots. Okay, so after my parents left, after Christmas, this is Christmas, 2 weeks later. After Christmas, the doctors were, had him in therapy, and they were doing reflex testing. And even though his leg wasn't moving up and down, the calf muscle was moving. And they saw that. Okay, next one. This is January 10th. He was home. He was not supposed to go home till March. He was home.
Come on.
That's him preparing his little medical corner. And that's him in therapy. They stretch him out. He's driving the candle. January 30th, not even 2 months after. And then a couple days after this, my cousin was just praying, and she was praying for pain. Any kind of pain. It didn't matter because he could feel it. The very next day, his ankle was throbbing. It was so painful, he was so hurting. And that was pain. He was feeling his ankle. And my cousin, she went, she looked at it, and it was twisted, which would cause any of us pain. So she untwisted it, and it was fine. So she felt that pain, and it was fine. and they were massaging his toes. His toes were moving, and you can go to the next one. He was back to work February 1st, which was the goal. He made 2 sales in the first 3 days of being back at work, which was very important. And I just received a text message from him that he was moving his toes on purpose. So this is all from, you see here, God answers our prayers directly. They're direct answers. We prayed for pain, he got pain. So it was so amazing. I thank you guys from the bottom of my heart on behalf of my family. Thank you so much for your prayers. We have had so many prayer testimonies that people all around the states who have nothing to do with each other have seen God knitting his back together and has seen him walking. And I believe he will be walking again. So I can ask you, please continue to pray. It may not be tomorrow, but it will be again.